was the American seizure of a Venezuelan vessel, an enormous vessel loaded with a lot of oil, an act of piracy on the high seas?
It depends on how you look at it. We were prepared to do the same thing with regard to plutonium, and we fast roped down on a number of ships, mainly Japanese, going to France because Japan supplies the world plutonium, and France was the biggest buyer during the aftermath of 9/11 because we were afraid a terrorist was going to get his hands on that plutonium. So this is not unprecedented. What is unprecedented about it is that there is no global war on terror declared by the President of the United States and targets identified and so forth. And Congress more or less acquiescent. We forget, for example, that even though we didn't get the second UN resolution, the president did have an act of Congress that called for official policy of the United States to be regime change in both Iraq and Iran.
Geez, I didn't know that we still had a Congress.
Well,
being sarcastic.
Clinton got him to pass that. And I said at the time when it was passed that we would regret it. So did Byrd. Byrd was the one senator who stepped forward and said, this is not smart. We're giving the president authority to go to war sometime in the far distant future. And he
suppose that I don't know how much oil it was carrying. Trump claims it was the largest tanker in the world. It might be true. Suppose it was destined for China.
So what?
Well, wouldn't we have a problem on our hands stealing 1 billion gallons of oil from China?
We would, but it won't be acted on because China will feel that loss of oil about like I would feel a tick falling off my knee. It's an act that shows how desperate we are. And that's not something you want to show, especially if you're in the position we're in right now with regard to the economy. We're just waiting, Judge, for the hammer to fall. And one of the reasons we want the 300 billion known barrels of oil in Venezuela is to arrest the most dramatic moment in this collapse, which would be if we don't get our hands on that oil, we will have no leverage in the world oil market to say to people, you must continue to denominate oil sales globally in the dollar. So it'll shift to a basket of other currencies. And when that happens, our debt will murder us almost overnight.
Close to murdering us already. Your colleague, Colonel McGregor, was on not too long ago and argues that an empire cannot be a debtor.
Not this kind, that's for sure.
Right.
If you're Rome and you can go to France, and dig for some silver and send it back to Rome, you're in a different set of circumstances.
Well, we have the inverse of that. All of our colonies drain us. They don't support us.
Yes, especially that little pipsqueak over there at the end of the Mediterranean.
Correct. Trump recently said, I got to find the phrase, I used it for Phil Giraldi, that he plans to ban killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies from the United States. Do you think he had Netanyahu in mind?
Oh, well, why did he just let Hernandez out of jail and these two brothers come back from Romania? Because they're the biggest freaking leeches on earth.
Correct.